The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory be to you, O Lord.
At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, "This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love than this has a man, than that he lays down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father, I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. This I command you, to love one another." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Glory to Jesus. You know, coming before God every single morning is a sign of friendship. It is a responsibility that one takes upon itself, because one sees the self as not only a friend of the divine, but also one who should be equipped with the resource for fulfilling messages for that day. It's important we have these two focus in mind each time we come for daily masses, whether in the morning or afternoon or evening. That first of all, we come to register our friendship with the one whom we love and who has called us his friend. It's important we accept this, because many of us have not accepted yet. We think that friendship is only possible within some age groups, age limits. We got spoiled actually with our associations. Primary school, you were friends with those who were in primary one because you were in primary one. You were friends with those in primary two because you were in primary two. Till tomorrow, till date, many people have not survived that infantile illusions. And that is what is being governed by, classmate meeting, classmate associations, and so on and so forth. But we couldn't go beyond that. It wasn't bad that we actually had such associations with our classmates. They were immediate colleagues for the same experience. And so when you are bounded by the same experience, same teacher, the same punishment, the same oppression from senior class, the same beating, the same small bad things and all that, you form a bond, definitely. But we were somehow buried inside that thought. Some of us survived it because some children were friends of their parents. And there are some parents who lived their lives. They couldn't find friendship anywhere else except in their children. So for those children who grew with that mentality that you can be a friend to an elderly person or you can be a friend to a greater person, I tell you, it's quite very much easier for those people to occupy the position of being God's friends. But even if we've not been opportuned to have this kind of experience, Jesus himself had been trying to force this narrative into our minds. Of course, he doesn't do anything without our freedom. So when I use the word force, I'm talking about divine efforts that have been made to enable us see reasons with the fact that we can be friends of God. Friends of God here and there had become lip service because it's easy to know the word friend and it's easy to hear the word God, and so we combine it together, friends of God. But we are talking about people who think on behalf of God, people who cry because of God, people who get annoyed because of the insult done to God's name, people who are afraid that people go against the will of God, people who just bear the burden of God. It's not by mouth. It's not by the vocabulary. That's nomenclature, friends of God. But it is shown by your presence here this morning. And I just really pray that our presence every single day at Mass is not just another way of getting used to fulfilling some kind of calendar responsibility, but let it always be that yearning. You know, I've heard some people say, I cannot survive a day if I don't go for morning Mass. And it's the development of relationship. They have pinpointed that time as the time they need to show. And it's a kind of sacrifice. It's a kind of difficulty to move that way. And when St. Paul and Barnabas were being sent to the assembly in Antioch, these were the statements they used in describing them. He said, it seemed good to us in the assembly to choose men and send them to you with our beloved Barnabas and Paul, men who have risked their lives for the sake of our Lord Jesus Christ. I remember then when I was a seminarian at St. Paul Catholic Church, working there for my 1-year pastoral year, people leave home as early as 5 o'clock, 5:30, coming for morning mass. Mass was quite early. Then there was adoration. Adoration began by 5:30. Some people made sure they were there by 5:30. So you think about the risk of coming to church at that point in time. And I remember then there were lots of kidnappings that were done during that morning mass period. People who were coming for morning mass were kidnapped. Not one, not two, not three. But that did not stop some people from going for masses. These are examples of men and women who risked their lives. People who God was really their friend, and God is their friend. We can achieve that. And that's all that the reading of today is talking about. John 15 from verse 12 to 17. He says, I call you servant not, because his servant does not know what his master does. He says, but I call you friends, because I have made known to you all that I have heard from the Father. So each time we are praying these prayers, like we prayed this morning, talking about these mysteries. The grammar of prayer today, of our various prayers, have denied us the access to the meaning of these prayers. Grant us, Lord, we pray, that being rightly conformed to the Paschal mysteries, being rightly conformed to the Paschal mysteries. You do know the meaning of that. The entire mysteries of Easter are the things that you and I are to share. That's the meaning of conformity. You become part of it. You become resurrection yourself. You become Jesus Christ who was resurrected. Look, if we have the true idea of what God shares with us, it will be too demeaning to think about any sin. Because eventually, the only thing that separates us, the only chasm between us and God, is just that thing that they call sin, which has become the culture of the world. And it's the reason why you and I should always pray the divine mercy. And the reason why you are here before God every morning is not just for yourself. It's to pray for the world. Imagine a child that was born into this world of perversion and corruption. The child is growing up, perversion and corruption has already taken over the child. Don't you see that there are some things you do others cannot understand? There are some instructions you even give your children now. They can't understand where you're coming from. And yet, your spirit is no older than your child's spirit, because there's no old age or young age in the spirit. Why are they not able to understand you as parent? Is it not the same life they are living that you already lived past? Why are they not listening to you? You will discover that even on the cultural level, our time as elderly people isn't as easy as their time in terms of committing crime. In those days, it was very difficult to commit adultery if you're a woman. Very difficult. But now, women commit adultery far more. Don't look at church, just because those who come to church are very few. Those who come to church, they are still the ones that are still holding this belief. Yes, women who come to church. Those who come to church are not up to 5% of women that are in the world. I can tell you now that women are more into adultery than men. What has changed? It is very simple. The culture of perversion has become a world culture. So imagine a child that is born from it. Every single day, you carry your children going to school, and you pass through some roads in Benin, and you see these many girls. How many boys do you see there? But the girls are usually more than the boys in those kind of areas. Many of the boys come there to drink and go. But many of the girls come to such spots to sell their bodies. So what is going to remove adultery from that flesh when that person eventually gets married? We are more women committing adultery than men now. Because the world is populating it. You give birth to a child, the child already learns how to be naked from 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I was at the mechanic workshop yesterday, and I saw men staring at a 12-year-old girl. And yes, I was just observing. She came in, a 12-year-old, innocent. And she was climbing the staircase, and the wind was moving her short skirt, already, everything. And so some boys staring, discussing and pointing hand. This is real. That's already an obsession. Whether the little girl likes it or not, who even knows if she has even had a taste of it? Because a lot of children have been forced into it. A lot of children have been trained in the act of sexual perversion even from age 6. They get used to it. Before they get to 10, they are already experts. And you're looking at them with the eyes of babies, but they are looking at you with the eyes of a child. Now, you don't know anything. And so, my dear friends, we who happen to appear before God, if you think that you are coming here because of you, you have failed. Because as a friend of God, you need to also have the frustration of God. How do we help these children who were born into this kind of life? They are not bad. These are children of God that were infused into a perverse world, a world controlled by Satan. What then is our benefit? Being friends of God. If we don't help God, and no, God will not move if you and I don't move. Didn't you hear? We are the ones to carry out this work. So when you're at your workplace, you see a little girl passing, you can speak the words of healing and salvation into that child. There are evil people out there who use their eyes alone as long as they can trap the body of any girl, of any child, of any woman, they have slept with that person spiritually. You who come before God every day, what is the effect of your presence out there? Because we think that coming for morning mass is to make sure nothing happens to us, nothing happens to our children, but we'll be wasting this great opportunity, sharing this divine mystery. We just look at ourselves simple. You are not. That you come for daily masses is powerful, but it will all be useless if it is selfish, if you just think it ends with you. You must carry the burden of God. Didn't you hear, whom shall I send? If God will go by himself, why is he looking for who to send? Every single day, I see the selfishness of Christians who merely pray to God in order for their bread to be buttered. Well, it's a waste. So have this today, my dear brothers and sisters. We are meant to be sent out. Anywhere you are, you should be destroying the hold of darkness there. Even if you pass through a prostitute den, do not ever criticize those children because you don't know what. You have no idea. If you criticize them, you are a baby. Even if you are 70 years old, you are a baby. Of course, I mean, it's very popular. There are people who never grew. They've not seen the other part of life. And so they grew in the positive aspect. Some of us just grew in the church. And then when you see these people, you just think that they are devils. We are babies. We can be babies even if we are holy, because we don't have experience of life. That's how babies are. But when you know, when you understand, or you have the least experience, every single time you pass through those dens where you find prostitutes, you should cry. Because children's lives have been taken away from them with many tools, with many occasions, and by different pathways. Pray the divine mercy on behalf of the world. And start seeing yourselves as people who should be responsible for the disgrace of Satan in the lives of many people who will never step foot into morning mass. They will never even step foot into church, not talk of Sunday mass or talk of morning mass. You who are here, you must choose yourself, because you've already been chosen to fight on behalf of the world. You have been sent, and you are his friend. May God bless us all.